Welcome to the Super Breakdown Podcast, where cosmic tales unfold. Join Power Maximus, Lord Triage, and the Darth Legacy Jason M40 on a journey through heroic realms where legends are born and destinies entwine. Delve into the cosmic currents, unraveling the mysteries of superheroes, villains, and champions. Embrace the cosmic energy that binds us all, and let your journey begin. This is the Super Breakdown Podcast. Enter the cosmic saga.
What is up? What is up? What is up? What do you think, Jay?
Hey, man. Sounds great. Sounds great.
Yeah, I just thought it was about time. Been rocking with us for a while now, so I decided to throw you into the intro as your official welcoming. So
yeah, man, I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. We are gathered here today for a bittersweet episode. Sad news released, was it yesterday? Right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yesterday, that the late, great, the legend himself, Tony Todd, has passed away. The age of 69? Yeah. So, a little bittersweet. I've always been a major fan of Tony Todd. And anything he's been in, I have always found really interesting, and just his approach to acting was really, really amazing to watch for me. But yeah, so tonight we are here to pay tribute to Tony Todd. We are going to be doing a breakdown of his career, of the character, of the roles he's played, some of the movies he's been in, and talk about some of our favorite roles that we've seen him in, and our favorite movies with him. So that being said, welcome to Super Breakdown. I'm Power Maximus, this is Lord Triage, and we are here with Jason M40, the Dark Legacy himself. Oh man, like I said, it's bittersweet. We're not as jubil as usual, but no. So let's get into it. So, Triage, what was your first introduction? What's the first Tony Todd movie that you've seen?
My mother being a big movie buff that she was, it was probably his most popular role, or the role he's best known for, which was the Candyman.
How young? I'm not trying to age you or nothing, fam. But how young were you when you watched that?
Oh boy, I think I saw it for the first time when I was like 10.
Yeah, that sounds about right for me too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, at least at the age that I saw that movie. There was something else that I remember seeing him in before Candyman. And I was watching it, and I remember when I watched Candyman, I was like, oh, that's the guy. And I never knew his name. I would always be like, oh, that's the guy every time I saw him. Before Candyman, he was already doing a decent bit of acting as well. He had already been in Platoon. He played Warren in Platoon, and then he did let's see, wow, what was another one that was really good? That was really after that. Night of the Living Dead. That was a good one. That was actually one of my favorites. Getting a chance to watch that because my grandfather, he's also a big old movie buff too. So I got to watch that one. So for me, it was more so Night of the Living Dead. That was more so the first time I saw him, and then after that, I was like, oh, especially when he did his Star Trek stuff. When he was in Star Trek, he played Kurn, Worf's brother, and I remember when I saw that, that's when I was like, oh, that's the guy from the zombie movie. But nah, I thoroughly enjoy his acting, and then finally ended up seeing Candyman later on. But actually, funny thing, I actually watched The Crow before I ever seen Candyman,
Yes.
which I found kind of interesting because I watched The Crow on my own. Like I was just going through, being a nosy little kid, going through VHSs, and I was like, The Crow. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Let me check this out because I saw like it wasn't in a case either. It was just a VHS, and I saw the logo on it. I was like, this seems cool.
Yo, I remember those days, man. That's just funny how you're talking about it, going through VHSs, not knowing which one is which, just sticking it in. It's funny. I remember that.
But like that I don't know. He just always like, and again, let's point out this man has been working. Like, I don't think he's ever like really truly retired.
No.
Like there was a while where like there were some movies that weren't really big hits, but like he's always done like cameos and stuff as well.
It seemed like he was always doing something.
Absolutely. And so when it came, so that's why I was like, wait, you're joking. You're joking. You're not. I'm like, I gotta dig and make sure that this is true, because that sucks. That really sucks. Because I heard they're doing another Final Destination movie.
Oh wow!
And I loved his role as a funeral director. Now,
see, I always took that role as that he wasn't necessarily the funeral director, as if he was almost like the agent of death.
Yeah, that's what he calls himself. He ends up saying he's like an agent of death. He's the one that takes him from here to there. So I always saw him as, what's his name? Like I felt like he was more of like a Karen, Kurn, his character.
Oh yes, from like Greek mythology, like from River Styx.
Yeah. Yep. He was the riverman. He would transport souls from the world of the living to the world of the dead. So I always saw him kind of like that character. Not death himself, but someone who works very closely with death and understands how death works.
Highly interesting. Yes, I understand what you mean.
So now the one thing, and when I was younger and I watched Final Destination, I personally didn't understand his role really very too much. Of course, because they broke into the funeral home to find somebody's body. It was one of the last people who died, to find their body. I forget what the reason was, and they go into the autopsy room, and like he ends up scaring the hell out of him or something like that. And then it was like they had that whole conversation about the first conversation about death, what death was, and him telling him really what's going on with everything. But I want to point out that he was a real level 7, like a legit level 7. Because if you just look at like some of the, like I would say he was such a big part of pop culture.
Yeah, like I'm not as familiar with this actor as you guys are. However, it seems to me like he was really a pivotal, like almost like an anchor actor
Yes.
for pop
Yes.
culture, like for sci-fi.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. Like, I would put him along the lines of Bruce Campbell.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But you know, just they did so well in one area. You know what I mean? And
Like,
it just
yes, yeah.
yeah, now they're like they're the face of that. You know what I mean? But and again, like he's, you know, all these pop culture phenomenon like Night of the Living Dead, The Crow, Wishmaster, I mean, him and playing in Star Trek. He was the voice of the Fallen in Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. He played the voice of Zoom in the Flash series. He was the voice of Darkseid in the DC animated universe. And then, as of most recently, he was the voice of Venom and Marvel Spider-Man 2. Amazing game. Absolutely amazing game. So like all these different, you know, all these different really, really, really pinnacle pop culture movie franchises. And again, like I said, with Final Destination as well.
That
But
next one is called Bloodlines.
yeah, the last one coming out, right? That's coming out this year
Correct.
or next year. Yeah, this year.
No, it's coming out
yeah.
next year.
Next year. All right. Yeah. So he's done an amazing work. So a lot of people look back at him and it's just like this is like the face, especially with Candyman. Candyman was like, I remember Candyman used to be bigger than Bloody Mary. You know, like literally he was this one character that literally terrified a generation.
Yeah. He spoke, it's like that classic sinister, deep, like evil voice.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, so to me, I feel like the only other character that could rival like his Candyman would be like Freddy or like who the hell or maybe Hellraiser. Like that's the energy that I got from like his character.
I'd say Hellraiser. Mr. Krueger wishes he could hold the candle to that brother in that trench coat. Fuck his fedora. No disrespect to Mr. England, but not on his best day.
Yeah, but again, he would definitely be on par. You know, Tony Todd is definitely on par like with Robin England.
On the
Like
level, yeah, I get what you mean.
I would put them in the same tier. They're definitely the same tier.
No argument.
So, but now, all right. So, but there's also a few other people. There's also a few other people that I would put in there as well. I'd put like Victor Miller, Jason. People like him, and then the original, but then Kane Hodder as well, because he was also Jason a few times. But like the people like them that are like icons, like horror film icons. I would put them up there.
Who played the original Leatherface?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I would throw him in there. The
yes,
the classic old school like horror actors that current horror is that they go to make like current horror movies. Like these actors are like the original horror actors.
Exactly. So and like I said, Bruce Campbell, you know, him doing Evil Dead, like that literally shifted the entire paradigm of horror films to the point where a lot of the laws that they have put in place today were because of Evil Dead. You know, people that have made those marks, and that's Gunnar Henson, who was the original Leatherface.
Yes.
Yeah, so like characters like those, he's on par with them all. Like he's throwing down with them all. Like the crossover I would have loved to see instead of Freddy versus Jason, which that wasn't bad. I would have wanted to see Candyman versus Freddy.
Oh
Honestly,
my God.
Honestly, could you imagine? I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Or, like you said, Hellraiser. Like, a crossover between those two would have been... That would have been some real gory shit right there. I don't know, man. I just feel like... And then but before I go any further, let's also, like I said, I touched on his voice acting just briefly, but he's also done like voices for Batman Brave and the Bold, bunch of different video game characters, like in Half-Life 2, he was Vortigaunt, I believe his name was. But there's this... It's ridiculous. It goes on and on and on and on, but they all have the similar theme. A lot, well, not all of them, but most of them have a similar theme. They're either sci-fi related or they're horror related.
Yes, absolutely.
Like this man, he's been in Star Trek, he's been in Stargate. I think the only reason why he wasn't a part of Star Wars is because he felt like it was too out of there. Right? Oh, bless me. Sorry. No,
He
that came out of nowhere.
definitely would have been a Sith Lord.
Oh man,
absolutely.
a good one.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's
Could you imagine
crazy. He would have...
Like if they had him be like Malgus.
Oh,
dude.
oh my god.
Oh yeah. That would be fucking perfect. Perfect, man. That's crazy. Ah, man. Fucking missed opportunities. But then he was also in Smallville. He played a role. He did an episode of Smallville, an episode of Andromeda. What was that?
I believe the episode was called Jitters.
Yeah, you played Earl.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And like these are episodes that like are like, you remember these episodes because you're like, oh wait, hold on, hey, I know that voice, or
these are pivotal.
Or he just popped up there.
Yeah.
But like, check this out. He also was a narrator voice. He went uncredited as a narrator voice for The Legend of Dragoon, the video game Legend of Dragoon. Like, come on. And then we also have the other three. Yeah, I'll say three because he was in a new one too, right? He was in a new Candyman, right?
Yes.
The one with Yaya?
Yes.
Yep. So yeah, we got Candyman 2, 3, then we got the remake. And the fact that he came back for the remake, come on now. Like that, that like that's his baby. And then Wishmaster as Johnny Valentine.
Yo, I've never actually seen Wishmaster.
It's my mom's favorite movie, so I've seen it a few times. So it's pretty much like he's like a genie, but he's like a more so demonic jinn, and yeah. So but it's a monkey paw style.
Copy.
Interesting.
You know?
Okay.
But there's also a darker side to it. Once that person, like how a genie, when you use up all the wishes, they're set free. With him, he is granting wishes and taking lives, so he has power to raise his like the rest of the Wishmasters. And then that one,
Okay.
and yeah, that one was crazy because if you go and you just take a look at the cast list, not only is Tony Todd in the film as well, but we got Robert Englund that was also in the film as well. So
there you go.
Yeah. So just the two of them, it's fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So here's something funny that I always used to get Wishmaster mixed up with Warlock.
Never seen that either.
Never. That was another movie that my mom was really into that I ended up watching a lot. Yeah, that one, that was hella good, hella amazing. Oh, sorry, I had to fight a sneeze back again. Oh, man. I think I'm catching a cold or something.
It's okay, man. It's okay. It's getting colder out. We all got to protect ourselves.
That is true.
Yeah. But now, the work that his measure of work goes all the way back to like the 80s, like 86. And then literally, yeah, and now he still has a movie coming out this year or next year.
Yeah. He's been in the game a while.
Yeah. But then also now, if you go check his IMDb, right, it has all his previous works, but then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 other projects that were in the works as well. And I know one of them is he's doing voice acting for the new Indiana Jones game coming out.
Yes.
That's awesome too. Too. You can tell like as an actor, he obviously pushed himself, He never really took long breaks and he always wanted to deliver.
He loved it. You can definitely tell that he loved it. And then the other project, as we all know, we just talked about, Final Destination Bloodlines. Like, and then when you just look at it, I'm looking through them right now, and I don't think I see any like gap. I don't see any year gap here.
That's
16,
amazing.
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Yeah, man, it's consecutive, continuous work throughout the years.
Respect.
2090. We're back in now we're in the 90s now. 7. Bro, no gaps. This man he was just acting. He's made a project every year, it looks like, since 86.
Yeah, that's commitment, man. That is commitment to the game. And that, like, shows love.
Absolutely. There's so much love for the craft, and it is it's so admirable, and again, it hurts to have lost, somebody so important to the culture
Iconic.
and
Yeah.
iconic, from films, Broadway, television, audio. He's been like all over. He's been all over it, and again, it's sad, man. It's sad.
It is. It is.
Oh man. But now, Tank, what would you say your favorite, like, aside from Candyman, what other role would you put like alongside that?
For Mr. Todd, I would have to say it was his voice acting he did for Zoom. Because I was a big Arrow fan. I enjoyed the majority of the Flash.
Yes.
And to see him bring that character to life, granted, it was just through his voice acting for the voice of the character, but there was a level of menace that he brought to that character that was fucking terrifying.
Oh my god, man!
True, I mean, I've watched some like, clips. The way he acts and the way he speaks is truly believable and scary.
So if I was to say, I'd put his acting of Venom recently along with that.
Yes,
that voice acting was phenomenal, man. Absolutely phenomenal. Like, you felt it. Like, you felt like, especially after seeing, because in the movies, actually, Tom Hardy, he actually voices Venom. They just destroyed his voice, so it's actually his voice. So I most certainly enjoyed his voice acting for Venom way better than the movies, because there's just like, it's more menacing. Like, it makes you feel like this person is a problem. Like, this person is a problem, and that's exactly what I got from Zoom as well. Like, just from his voice commands this presence. It has this presence about it that just, like, you will like fear.
Yes. Like, for me, if I were to imagine like the devil talking to me, it would be that voice.
pretty damn much. Pretty damn much. But then look at the characters that he has voiced, right? Like I said, the Fallen from Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. He was a pretty menacing character. He was one of the largest Transformers, one of the oldest on top of that.
The voice, like, really pronounced fear and menace.
Exactly.
And I think that those traits really follow his voice acting.
Absolutely. Like, everywhere he goes, and then, like I said, look at Darkseid. Look at the kind of character Darkseid is. Especially in the animated universe. He is a motherfucking goon. He's a problem in the animated universe. The animated movie universe.
Well, he destroys planets, so I think that's a problem.
Yeah. Like, so it says something about the role. The roles he takes also speaks. They speak volumes. Just like lending his voice to characters like these, the Fallen, Zoom, Darkseid,
it
Venom,
goes to
and
show
then
you
more.
It goes to show you that his voice truly matched the gravity of the roles that he was portraying.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially like the gravity of the evilness or the darkness, you could say.
Yeah, I would say more so the darkness,
Yeah,
you know. And then when you go into video games, like he's voiced video games for, you know, as pretty much as long as video games kind of like modern video games have been around, and he's stuck with Star Trek for like a long time. A long time. He's the voice, you know, what was it, in 98, there was a Star Trek game for Next Generations, Klingon Honor Guard, and he voiced Kurn in that. You know, that I mentioned earlier, Legend of a Dragoon, he voiced in that. Star Trek Elite 2 Force 2, he was in that. And then he was also in Black Ops 2. He played Admiral Tommy Briggs. And he did the motion capture too.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so there, like, he's, and if you notice, like when he's with something, when he's with a project, like he sticks with the project. He sticks with the franchise. You know,
Absolutely. I think that, I mean, obviously, I didn't know the man personally, but I feel like you could say he was a fan.
yes, absolutely. I would 100% say that 100% say he was a fan. He was absolutely a fan, because this is the only that's the only way, like, this love of work, you know, this level of dedication happens. It's by somebody who truly loves what they do and is a fan of the craft.
Absolutely.
I think what the last Candyman movie before the remake came out in 99, and then the new one came out, what, 2-3 years ago?
I
Or was
think,
it
yeah.
4?
Yes, the requel, as they call it, was 2021.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then just look, that's like 21 years later. He comes back and reprises his role.
That's love. That like his love.
Absolutely. And like I said, Star Trek, you know, he's done so many different roles just within Star Trek itself. Like, just within Star Trek itself, like, he doesn't just play Worf's brother. You know, he plays like a bunch of little, like, miscellaneous characters here and there as well. And it wasn't just on Next Generations he was in. He was in Voyager as well. And then
Deep Space Nine, I believe.
Oh. Wow, damn. I forgot about that one. But yeah, he just goes, like, and then he, like I said, he voiced acted in all the games. I'm surprised that they weren't able to get him to maybe, well, never mind. That's a stupid question. Because I was thinking about the new Star Trek movies that came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they didn't go all the way up to having Worf with them. That was a whole different squad, right? Was Worf? Oh, was Picard?
I don't
I'm not a
think
big.
that
I'm not a massive Trekkie. So
I'm not either. Yeah, I'm not
yeah.
either.
So I don't remember the crews
And I don't want to misspeak.
Yeah, because you know, yes. Don't worry. We respect Trekkies here. We respect them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So I'm not gonna say now because I don't want to get something wrong, and then next thing you know, everybody jumping down our throats in the comments. We don't want that.
Listen, I'm taking all fades.
But you know, this man I almost forgot. He was also in Lean on Me. He was Mr. William Wright.
Yeah, he was the head of the hall monitors and security once they got started locking the doors.
Yep, that was what I posted that clip earlier in the day of Morgan Freeman, the principal. He was talking about it, like this is my general lieutenant or whatever, something like that, introducing him. Yeah, man. I want to know where this love of the craft went.
Hmm.
You
That's
know what I
good.
mean? You don't really see many actors doing numbers like this.
Well,
Like
the-
even even if it's not a big role, still taking it. Like I
well,
said, I no, go ahead. Sorry.
the issue came because, at least from what I'm seeing, is that the whole problem is you have this whole thing with the franchise because that's what everybody wants to do now. Everybody wants to be part of a franchise, and
Okay.
the franchises stop being about telling a good story. They become money grabs.
You know what? I can fully believe that
Yeah.
because, like, that's what it seems like. You don't see that.
No,
Well, maybe not. Maybe dedication isn't the right word, but
no, I would. So if I don't use the word dedication, I'm gonna say love of the love of the craft. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah, I
but you're
get what you
absolutely right,
mean.
Triage. You're absolutely right. Like it's about the franchise. People want the franchise and people want the money. But the films don't even get a chance to franchise because they're not telling good stories, so they're not bringing in that money, so their funding gets cut and they just stop making the films.
Like,
People simply just want to be a part of instead of like representing.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. You know, it definitely most definitely feels like that. You know, you don't see many actors, modern today actors who are just taking jobs just because they want to act. You
Mm,
know, they don't want to just make a big hit, make all this money, and then chill back on the money. No, they don't. Yeah, that's not why they do it. They do it because they love to act. They love becoming, someone else. And this is absolutely 100% him from just from looking at his career. Because to be honest, he could have just been working. I don't know him personally. He could have been doing all his work because he needed to do all his work because or. But to me, this feels like passion because of watching the character, watching his portrayal of the character and his acting. There's 100% love in that. There's passion in these characters.
yeah,
He's truly
absolutely. There really
becoming these
is.
characters.
You can see it. I mean, you can easily see it. You can tell that he is, enjoys what he's doing when he's doing it.
Yeah. Like he's done like he's like even with the success of Spider-Man 2, the success of The Flash, with the success of, Candyman and all these other big franchises that he's had, he's still taking time out to do little spots like Masters of the Universe Revelations, the voice acting that, doing little spots for Dota Dragon's Blood. Actually, that wasn't a little spot. He was in like 17 episodes for Dota Dragon's Blood.
Yeah,
He's
that's a
been
lot.
Slyrak, all right, and then little parts like stuff in like Spider-Man definitely wasn't a little one. But then he came back and played the same character for the newest Masters of the Universe, but that's only one episode. Some of these things he's playing side characters or doing like small one episode, things just because it seems like just because he loves to act. And then although he seems to primarily be like horror and sci-fi and fantasy, you know, there, you know, he definitely did. He did still have range too.
He did. He really did.
You know,
I mean, all of his roles were like they were diverse, but they all had a commonality.
yes, he brought the same feel of it, right? Like the character. I don't know how to explain it because I'm just like not on that level.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
You know, I'm not well versed in like that level of acting.
Yeah.
And so here's another thing. You can tell between an actor who comes from the stage, who comes from Broadway, compared to an actor who just does like movies or TV shows.
I would agree with that. You can definitely tell that there's a difference. I think in just simply the strength and the emotion,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that they're portraying, and really just the performance itself, because they're not simply acting, they're performing. They're completely embodying the role, and you can tell.
Yes, actually, yeah, that I'd say that's a perfect way to put that. They're not just standing there acting in front of a camera, acting like this character. No, they are that character. They are performing this character. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? When it's like when you get up there and when you like get up to sing, there's a difference between you standing there and saying the words, you know, saying the lyrics to the song, and then actually singing the song. You know what I mean? Actually putting emphasis and emotion into it and actually really trying. I feel like a lot of actors just don't want to try anymore.
I mean, I feel like the level of talent having to do with the emotion is definitely disappearing.
Yeah, like they can't, not many of them know how to truly channel that emotion. And it definitely shows because it's just like there's just such a lack and a drop in like in the qualities. And I would like to make a good reference, but like I don't have someone else in mind that I could like compare him to, because you
I
can't
mean,
you can only compare him to other people that are on his level. Like it's like we said, Robert England, you know, people that, you know, the guy that plays Leatherface, Jason Voorhees, Bruce Campbell. You know, you can only compare him to people that give that level.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what's a king to a god? You know what I mean? I don't know. What is your take? Because I feel like there's definitely a big difference. If you look at people from, you know, Tony Todd's era of acting and you look at acting now, like what would be your comparison if you
Well,
would, Triage?
let's put it this way. Look at the Expendables, right?
Yeah.
They said that for years they were trying to get Bruce Willis, Stallone, and Schwarzenegger all together for one movie. Well, between rivalries and scheduling, shit never worked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember that being an issue.
Right? So they always like some people look at that movie and think it's goofy. But the whole thing was if that should have been done in the 90s, would no one have batted an eye about it.
Oh, absolutely.
That is a fact, 100%. If that movie was like developed and created in the 90s, I feel like it would have been much bigger too.
Right? So
Mm-hmm.
here's how they put it. So look at the modern day, look at the 80s and 90s era of action films.
Mm-hmm.
Just to change gears real quick. So if I say to you Sylvester Stallone, what character comes to mind?
Rocky.
Wow. For me, it was Rambo.
Okay, so if I say Bruce Willis, what character comes to mind?
Die Hard.
McClane. Yeah,
Right.
Die Hard.
If I say Schwarzenegger,
Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
now I want you to name a modern day action star.
Damn, not nobody does just action anymore.
I mean, there's not really actors anymore that really
Modern day
would portray.
modern action star.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Tom Cruise.
Nigga, what?
But again, look how long that took.
Oh my God, he said.
No, because we're going off of, because like you said, when you think Schwarzenegger, you think Terminator. When you think but when you think Tom Cruise, you think Mission Impossible.
I've never seen none of those.
They're actually pretty good. That's literally the only Tom Cruise movie I've ever liked. Only franchise I've ever liked. Because they increasingly get more ridiculous.
That's funny.
But in a good way, like, oh, that's actually cool. We're not talking like Fast and Furious sending two black guys in a hatchback with a rocket to space type weird. We're talking about man outrunning a fucking sandstorm on foot through Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, that's insane.
We're talking man scaling the side of a fucking the tallest building in the world with no gear. We're talking about a character that stunts like the most recent one. This man actually himself drove a motorcycle off the edge of a cliff and parachuted down off the motorcycle.
It took him 4 years to plan and build that ramp and to actually film that. 4 years.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And he did it himself.
Yeah, that was all his idea. He's kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's I remember recently him and Jay, when they were doing promo for Top Gun for Maverick that just came out, he was actually flying that damn jet that him and James Corden was in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a certified pilot, certified, he's certified in so many. He's a certified stuntman.
But as far as I was going was, you have, okay, so you said Tom Cruise. Like I would say Daniel Craig.
I was gonna say him, but he doesn't only do action.
But the whole thing was that you got to remember, a lot of the other actors who played those parts did other shit too, but they were also certified action stars. There is no current certified action star. The only other person I could think of is probably Jason
Statham.
Yes.
Yeah. Even then, Jason Statham was a pinnacle of the Expendable films. He was literally Stallone's right-hand man.
In the movies, yes. But I'm saying, like, as far as like him having like his own brand and him being that guy now, like he's one of them cats who I believe he's that guy.
Jason Statham was like known for being the action star Taekwondo fighter, like back in the day, and that's why, like, if you saw him back in the day, in the movies he made, he was kicking. Kicking things. And you know, that's an action star, like in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like what I was gonna say before, if you compare movies like Die Hard, you know, an action movie back in the day, that movie had so many stunts and you know, car chases, car explosions.
They said
And
that was
all
actually
the
that was really him, like in that tiny ass metal box, like crawling through. Like he did that shit.
exactly like so like in my head, I was thinking, are there any action actors today that is doing that?
No, none that I can think off the top of my head. You know, but again, to go along with that, yeah, you think Tony Todd, first thing that comes to your mind is Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you think Robert Englund, first thing that comes to your mind is Freddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you think about these actors, there's one specific character that comes to mind for that genre.
Yeah.
You know, you think Bruce Campbell, first thing you go to is Ash.
Yep.
So I don't, there's just, there is none of that no more.
That
Like
representation
yeah, like
is
I don't know.
missing.
Yeah, no, thank you for bringing that up, Triage, because like I really can't think of any modern celebrity that, I mean, it. Oh God, I'm gonna get mad shit for saying this, but like, don't growl at me, damn it. I'm about to say some shit, and like the closest I could think of would be Vin Diesel.
Or maybe The Rock.
I was just about to say, oh, The Rock. All right, because Vin Diesel is also one of those people. Like when you think Vin Diesel, you think of
Riddick, Triple X, Dom Toretto. Yeah.
Riddick, Triple X, Dom Toretto. God, yeah. Yeah.
No, you're not. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But like now, let me ask you this question now. Who's the horror icon equivalent
right now? Horror icon equivalent right now.
And beside Jigsaw.
Beside Jigsaw, yeah. Oh man, that's a great question. You know what?
And see, I think it's also interesting because of the whole horror aspect. Because the thing that scares me doesn't scare you. The thing that scares you doesn't scare Jay. So it's like horror is such a broad spectrum because no two people are afraid of the same thing.
That's true.
People can find things unsettling or find things creepy, but it's very few things that people go, wow, that shit was wild, or wow, that was terrifying.
Where everybody says that. Yeah. Yep.
Damn, I'm trying to think, and
I was gonna say like maybe Michael Myers, but he's not even really current.
No. I mean, they did have like the most recent movie come out, but again, I still count that as old school.
Yeah, me too.
But I would compare, first and foremost, once again, we were just talking about the franchises with the money grabs. For example, when they did the most recent 3 Halloweens, they didn't need to do 3. They should have did 1. They should have did that the same way they did with the Candyman series. They did the requel. They canceled all the meaningless shit in between.
Oh yeah, because wasn't there a show?
Oh, well, what?
I don't know why. I was under the impression that there was a Candyman show. Very brief though. They tried to do an actual TV show about him.
Not that I remember. But like I said, look at Halloween. They did the requel. They canceled everything that was meaningless in between. Because if you look at that fucking franchise, that franchise has like 3 different timelines.
It does, yeah. They've stretched that franchise out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Because there's honestly, I don't want to get into that. That was even me when I watched that video of them trying to explain it. It was fucking complicated as hell.
So, like I said, then it became Halloween Kills, then it became Halloween Ends. So it's like, once again, it stopped being about telling the story and became about a money grab because Halloween Kills is fucking terrible.
That was the last one?
That's the second one.
That's the second one.
Halloween Ends is the last one.
Oh, out of the current 3? The recent 3? Okay, so it's Halloween, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, see, it sucks because I want. No, it's more slasher.
And even then,
Scream slasher. It's not horror. It's more slasher.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was gonna say Scream, but then when you really think about it, like,
but
there's never one person that's Ghostface.
Now, okay, so I'll make that argument and I'll agree with that, but I'll also go that is not modern. That goes back to the 90s.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
True.
And I just thought of this as well. Even if you're comparing Michael Myers to like the acting of Tony Todd, Michael Myers literally does not talk. You know what I mean?
There's no personality.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
And that's like how we were talking about before, how Tony Todd completely embodies the character.
Yeah, that's like he doesn't
just give is completely different.
Yeah, he doesn't just give the character a face, right? He gives that character an entire personality of its own.
Yeah, absolutely. Like in comparison to Michael Myers, like I don't know, it's just completely different.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's why I couldn't really get with the Halloween series, just because like you said, he had no emotion, no personality. His whole thing was just
no lines,
kill.
Yeah,
but with Candyman, it's like it. His acting drew you into the character.
He created fear.
Yeah, but I just find it so wild that you just can't find that these days.
It really goes to show how the horror culture, like,
no, like, and I would change that and say mainstream horror culture.
Yes.
Because there's a very, very distinct difference between mainstream horror culture and indie horror culture. Indie horror culture, you better be ready to watch that.
Yes, absolutely. That's like,
like Evil Dead type
original. Yeah.
Like blood, gore, like type films.
People melting.
Yeah, faces being melted off, being like showing people being dismembered.
Strong stomach.
Yeah, you definitely need a strong stomach for that indie scene. That indie scene is, like I said, Evil Dead made them have to change their rules. They had to change their rules after Evil Dead came out. Because that tree scene.
And true fans today, like, of horror, even though horror is different for everybody, because, like Triage said, what scares me won't scare you. However, back then, that shit was scaring everyone.
Yeah. there's films that literally like have, how do you say it? How would I say it? That have literally molded an entire generation.
Yeah.
Like that were like, for me. So for my generation, for us, the scariest films for like my my childhood from would be, and that I've seen a lot of people agree with, The Grudge and Signs. But everyone that I've ever met that has ever said that they've ever watched The Grudge says they absolutely hate that noise that that she makes, and that they will never ever watch the movie The Grudge again. There's certain movies like that that just literally scare a culture. Like it. Tim
Yes.
Curry. Like when you think of
Yes.
Tim Curry, you think it. Because
You
they made he is that character.
he made that character so fucking unsettling. And you know what the wild part is? Is
What?
that I actually fuck with Bill Skarsgård. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
He didn't hold a candle to Tim Curry.
Like I said, for me, I thought it was good, but he was no Tim Curry. No Tim Curry. It was good for what they were going for, but no. Like Tim Curry, oh my god, man.
Oh, you know what, too? I heard that they're going to remake the Chucky franchise.
Again?
They've already tried.
That's crazy, right?
I've actually heard decent things about the show.
The show actually is good. The show's actually very good. It elaborates a lot on like his history and his past and like why he is the way he is. So you get that he was always screwed up. But my whole thing is like, once again, if we're doing storytelling and keeping the continuity, it's fine. But if we start adding shit in that contradicts the third movie or makes another movie irrelevant or completely destroys a plot line of 3-4 movies, it's like, well, what just happened?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, once again, the Fast and the Furious series has great fucking action. That story, on the other hand, you watch that show from beginning to end, is a little
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just watching to see what they do next. Literally, this
Maybe they're gonna get a car and race it.
Nah. Someone's gonna drive a car. Someone's gonna drive a car to the center of the earth.
Yo, that was good.
I'm
That
sorry.
was good. Because God forbid they actually fucking drive the car. Or keep one car for more than one movie.
Yeah. I can't, man. I can't. But nah, like if you look at the horror genre, don't get me wrong, there's misses in every series. There's nobody who goes, I can watch who's like this entire series from beginning to end is top 10 tier work. Every series has got its misses, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if you just do continuity, the storytelling, and make sure that the characters that you're creating are believable and relatable. Or if you have a cultural aspect, like for example, like when I sat through the requel for Candyman, when they talked about that whole thing about how the Candyman was supposed to be a generational instrument of pain and suffering, and instead of being this monster, he was being repurposed to be a protector of the Black community. Like, could you imagine, like, you're about to get lynched or killed, and you said his name 5 times, and he took care of whatever problem that was about to happen?
Mm-hmm. That's so oh, that's like
completely valid.
See, there's a character in I believe Mexican culture I will not say their name because I also believe in spooky shit, and they say not to say your name, so I ain't gonna say your name. But like there's characters like that as well that are steeped within culture. You know what I mean? Like creatures that like in characters that are a part of a culture. So when I saw that, like I agree. I'm like, yo, that is so dope. Like that's a really dope way to to turn this character. You know, because I've always when you look at it from the scope or like the perspective that I have, and especially for like the environment in which the movie, the movie takes place in, like when you look at the history of the area, like that shit makes sense. It makes sense that that was a legend that was passed around. Because let's also not forget, Candyman came out in the height of urban legend era.
Mm.
Like that was when urban legends were going hard.
Like Mothman, like
Yeah, yep, the Mothman, Jersey Devil, Bigfoot, and then there was
Beast of Bray Road.
yes, urban legend. What is that one
Yeah.
about this tunnel and a clown instead of a damn tunnel or something like that? There's that. Did you know that give me a sec. I have to do it this way. Do you know the Muffin Man?
We're gonna shine past that one for everyone who knows better.
No. Where I'm going with that is the Muffin Man was actually an urban legend. Like the Muffin Man was actually a serial killer.
Yeah,
An
he's
urban legend serial killer.
preyed on children. Yes,
Exactly. And so, like it, like in that time frame, and I think that that's what contributed to the film's success was just that, that urban it was peak time for something like that. Like nowadays I don't hear too much talk about urban legends and stuff like that. I remember like when I was going through like middle school, like the urban legend that was popping at the time was Slender Man, and our high school, was Slender Man and shit like that.
Yeah. Yep. Or oh my gosh, it just reminded me because when I was in high school, the urban legend that was going around was the creepy clowns.
No, that wasn't an urban legend. That was actually people walking around as actual clowns doing dumb shit.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
No, that was definitely
real.
that was an urban legend, man. That was real. You weren't dreaming. That was a real thing. That was a real thing. People were really doing that shit.
Damn.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like the time period in which it came out in, the actor, and then the story are all things that truly contributed to, Candyman's massive success. Those three things. They had a good story, right? And then they released it, and like the era was primed for it. And then the actor that they got to play the Candyman is absolutely amazing.
Agreed.
But now I can't think of anything, as of today, this, at this era, the 20s, that has, and even though, 20s have really just started, only 4 years in, but like I would even say like 2010s. Like, can you guys name something in the 2010s that was like that? That was like that pivotal, that rocking, that like that strong of a staple?
As far as like cinema goes,
Yeah.
I don't remember when Hellraiser was made.
oh, but that's a long series too. That goes back to the 90s also.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I know they just did
They just did a remake for that also, actually.
What happened?
I said excuse me. It might not have been a requel, but they just did another one of those recently also.
Yeah, it wasn't a movie, it was a show on Hulu.
Ah.
Yeah, Pinhead's a female. Yep, Pinhead's a woman. And actually, honestly, I feel like she's honestly way scarier. I tried to watch it a little bit, and I was like, "Whoa, this is terrifying. This is actually pretty good." But no, I can't think of anything from the 2010s either that could replicate that. You know, that feeling, that air of scare. I'll call it. I don't know. 2010s, like zombies were really big at that time as well. In the 2010s, because I remember was it the 10s or was it early 2000s when we had a man eating a dude's face in Florida?
That was definitely late 2000s.
Late 2000s. Yeah. So no, it wasn't 10s yet. It wasn't the 10s yet.
No, it definitely was. It definitely was.
Oh, it wasn't in 2010s? Yeah. So yeah, that was because zombies were going hard at that time. But yeah, I mean, like we had The Conjuring, and then what it one was in 17, right? For Bill Skarsgård was in 2017. I mean, Insidious rocked. Insidious, the first Insidious movie, rocked the landscape, rocked the boat a little bit.
I've never seen none of those.
The first one's good, the second one's interesting, and then everything after that just gets weird.
What about you guys may or may not know it. There was a movie. It was a horror movie. It was called Venom. It was about a guy who brought himself back to life through like black magic, and he had snakes crawling through him.
Oh my god, why does that sound so familiar?
Oh, it took place in like New Orleans, if I remember correctly, because it was supposed to be that. It was supposed to be that there was this woman. She was of like a voodoo priestess, and she basically took, like all the negative and dark energy out of people, and she put it into a snake.
Oh wow!
And apparently there was like a whole container that was just full of all that darkness, and it wound up possessing someone.
Oh wow!
It was like they were possessed by like 13 evil souls.
Yeah, yep. And then I mean, it's like your classic horror. There's like they're not teenagers, but they're like young adults, and they're running around getting murdered.
Wow, yeah, pretty much. And then he's like a zombie. He's like, monstrous zombie, and he's going around killing anything that crosses his path and terrorizing groups of teenagers, including his own son. Yeah, and then of course, they had to go to the voodoo priestess or whatever, try to pretty much to stop him.
But I mean, that movie is not super old.
No, it's 2005. So yeah, 20 years ago. Sorry, it's old.
Yeah, that's crazy. Forget how old we are.
For real. Oh, for real. I was like, no, it's not that old. No. Oh. There's 2 zeros there. Back to back. Oh yeah. As in something actually, yeah, man. I can't think of anything from the 2010s that was like generation rocking.
Jeepers Creepers.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
Early 2000s. Then when they did the Thing movie in 2011.
Nah,
that still ain't hit. Yeah, no, man. No. Now there is this one film that I'm interested in watching from 2019 called Color Out of Space. It's a Nicolas Cage movie. And and from what I read, it's trippy. It's very, very trippy. But nothing horror related that I can think of for 2010s. What was that? What was the Jessica Alba one? The Eye or something like that.
Right now.
Like I don't remember what year that was because that was type spooky for me. But shit, no, nope. I don't know, man. And now I'm really realizing this. Now I'm thinking about it. That bothers me. That bothers me a lot because
I can't think of a single like good horror movie from that time.
No, not at all. Holy hell. And only horror movies that were good were actually old franchise movies that were making a comeback. You know, like I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed the Bill Skarsgård It movies. I enjoyed them. No, they were no Tim Curry. Not as good as Tim Curry, but I enjoyed them. Right? That made a comeback. The Evil Dead remake from 2013. That was good. I enjoyed that. That one was good. Also because it was made by the same person who made the first one.
That's the whole point right there.
And then 2015 Crimson Peak. But that really wasn't scary. That was more like a thriller.
No. Keep swinging and miss. Try it again.
Really, Crimson Peak? That really didn't really scare me like that.
I thought it was terrible.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't. All right, yeah, no. Well, yeah, because I've only saw bits and pieces of the original Crimson Peak. I haven't been able to sit through it all the way. But then I said what? Then there was the 2018 Halloween. That was the one that's a part of the trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Kills and Ends.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Let's take a quick break. Let's hear from some of our amazing friends over in the podcast universe and the Blurred universe, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Going on, everybody? Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics here, and we'd like to introduce you guys to our show, The Indie Breakdown, a show where we break down your favorite indie comic book characters' power, stats, and abilities, and get them ready for an eventual indie versus matchup. All Indie Breakdown episodes go live first on Spotify and on Patreon, with them eventually showing up on YouTube. So if you guys want to check out The Indie Breakdown and learn more from your favorite indie comic book creators, now's the time to do so. We hope you guys decide to tune in, and remember, until next time, midnight is coming.
Hi, I go by Lady Mandalore, the creator of Roomful of Blurs. Do you have a whiteboard in your room? Do people get a glazed over look in their eye when you start to explain things to them? Well, Come join me every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we can talk comics and get to know some new creators of color, only on YouTube and Twitch.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Calvin, from the Icarus Podcast, and I just want to say that we got new episodes coming next Saturday and every Saturday after that. So all I will have to say from here is keep enjoying the show. You can check us out, www.icarusmetrocomics.com. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and more. See y'all next time.
Join the Pulse. We're excited to announce the launch of Heartline Comics' newest line, the Barcode Collection. Our fresh drop just hit the internet and is turning heads. Imagine this. You're rocking our merch, and friends can scan the barcodes to instantly connect with the Heartline Comics website. It's a game changer. Stay ahead of the curve and never miss a beat. Subscribe to our website for exclusive alerts on the latest merch drops and the newest comics hitting the shelves. Be part of the Heartline community and show off your style with pride. Trust us, you don't want to miss this.
All right. And we're back. Man. Like, and again, it was weird because I wasn't prepared to hear that he had passed. Like, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, but like when James Earl Jones passed, I wasn't incredibly shocked. Saddened, yes, but I wasn't shocked because he lived a very long life. He was, what how old was he? It was like 98 or something like that.
Yeah, James Earl Jones, I think he was in his 80s.
Yeah, he was in his 80s.
He was older.
And then Quincy, he was also in his 80s. And so like though they didn't surprise me, certainly saddened, definitely saddened because I love the career. Yeah, no, James Earl Jones was 93. He was 93 when he passed. So that wasn't like, oh my God. It was a no. But like Tony Todd, that was like left field because clearly the last the public's known, he's doing this project, working on this, got this coming out. You know what I mean? I still currently, I believe they still have, the cause of death, unreleased.
I mean, he could have had, underlying health issues that are not public. We don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's unfortunate that we couldn't get another 20 years of movie making from him.
Mm-hmm. And then that his family didn't get another 20 years of time with him.
Absolutely.
So here's one thing that something that is like a really awesome fact about Tony Todd is that when he, like, clearly the bees in Candyman were real. The swarms of bees were real. So he had a clause in his contract that he has to get paid $1,000 bonus, $1,000 bonus anytime he gets stung.
That is legitimately awesome.
He was stung 23 times.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Pay me.
He was stung, $23,000 on top of what he was already getting from the film.
I would say that's a man who knows his worth.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And it
It's sad.
it's sad. Yeah, it's very, very sad. But again, this man was a hard worker. Hard worker. You can tell his resume speaks volumes, man. Just every year, a project in some way, shape, or form, whether it be voice acting, whether it be, on screen acting, whether it be something from Broadway, every year since '86, he's had at least one project.
Love, dedication.
That's truly what it was. That's truly what it was. I definitely nothing else but love and dedication to the work, to the craft, to the genre. No matter what genre he was in, like he devoted himself to it. Whether it be like he was in he was even in an episode of 21 Jump Street. The original 21 Jump Street back, the 80s.
That's cool.
Yeah, so his track record is absolutely amazing. He's done so much work, from X-Files, Beverly Hills 91210, NYPD Blue, Wishmasters, Star Trek. His work with Star Trek. He was in Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. And the list just goes on and on and on. And well, there was another kind of a show that I saw him on. What was it? It was like early 2000, like 2001, 2002. I think it was like, what was it? UC Undercover, some weird show like that. But again, like every single year, at least 1 to 2, at minimum 2 projects a year.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So I don't know, my heart goes out, my love and my prayers go out to his family, goes out to his friends, definitely goes out to all of us fans out here. A legend was truly, truly lost yesterday. And there's it's like an end of an era. Really. It's like the end of an era.
Yeah, it is. And the era is completely disappearing.
I think who do we have left? Robert Englund. We have and we got to do an episode on him soon too. We got to do an episode on him. Just talking about all the roles, because man, his most recent little cameo in the last season of Stranger Things, amazing. The whole last season of Stranger Things is Nightmare on Elm Street themed.
Never watched it past the first season.
When you get past the first season, it actually gets interesting. The first season drags so hard compared to the rest of the season. Like, actually, the rest of the show, things actually get interesting. Questions actually get answered.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I've watched it. It does get much more exciting after the first season. Like, things actually happen. But,
especially that last season. That last season was dark. The last
twisted.
season was very dark. It was
a little twisted.
It was twisted. I get it. Twisted like an Auntie Anne's pretzel, man. Wow, man. The theme song of the last season of Stranger Things should be someone pouring milk into a bowl of Rice Krispies.
Oh my God.
They just record the snap, crackle, and pop, and that's the theme for season 4 of Stranger Things. Oh my God. But no, like he was a main plot point in the last season of Stranger Things, and then the entire theme was Nightmare on Elm Street. Like it was really cool. It was really cool. I highly recommend pushing through that. But I don't know. I want to hear you guys' final remarks.
Okay. You know, this genre of horror that Mr. Todd is a part of, it really, I think, is the foundation of horror movies today, and that type of genre is disappearing. And I'm grateful that this man was able to give us a taste of something that made us feel something like primordial inside of us. That we just don't feel anymore really watching horror movies.
No, that's very true. Very true. I agree. He was definitely an icon and a pillar within the horror genre and the horror culture. There's a lot of films and movies that probably wouldn't have gotten made if not for his portrayal of Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Triage?
I think that the level of passion and the swagger
That's good.
of horror was changed because of his iconic performances. He brought a level of cool and terrifying that I don't really see anymore or haven't seen since.
Nah, I have to agree because
Fully agree.
it was that cool factor about him that enhanced the kind of the fear. You know what I mean? Because
he had a style.
Yeah, it's he's everything about this person, the way they look, the way the energy feels around them says you're in danger. But you hear the voice and there's that swag, that calm, that cool, and makes you feel like, oh, it's okay. It's and he asks her, he's like, be my victim. What? What kind of polite ghost shit is this?
It's just even more scary because
it's just scarier. It's so much scarier because he's walking up to her and she's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna just go home. He's like, where you going? I'm talking to you. Be my victim. And she's like, what? Your panties getting wet from the man asking you to be his victim? This is
awful.
This is in the 90s. You're in a parking garage. You got a black man walking up on you with a leather and fur coat on. I'm talking about being my victim, and you're the only one in a parking garage. And yet your panties is dropping? Get your priorities straight. But no, you're absolutely right, man. He had this swag to the character that I don't think anyone could ever replicate.
It was,
Damn, that's such a good point, Triage.
yeah, he had an individual swagger style. Yeah.
Oh, damn, man. That's man. I didn't even think about that, man. That's just too smooth. Because I'm literally every time I think about Candyman, that one scene plays back in my head in the parking garage where she's trying to get into her car. Eileen. Be my victim. Yes, I said, be my victim. And she was like, ha 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 ha. Like, and she was just too smooth. Like, too fucking smooth. Like, Tony Todd, his skill, his talent, his love and his passion for the craft. Sir, you will be very, very, so truly missed by your loved ones, by your friends, and honestly, and by your fans. By your fans. You molded an entire culture. You molded an entire generation. And that's legacy right there. That's legacy right now, right there. At this moment in time, I'm saying it. They are not allowed to make another Candyman movie.
I agree.
What do you think, Triage?
Well, I think Yahya Abdul-Mateen taking the reins. I think he did a good job. I like the fact that they tied it in so he could wield the hook. And I mean, I wouldn't be against it as long as they did it and did it justice. But the character of the original Candyman, no, they cannot fuck that up.
Mm-mm.
Of the Daniel Robitaille, yeah, nah, that's not. That is something that they cannot not ruin.
And that, yeah, and huh? So I'm just thinking, like, all right, yeah, Abdul. You know, I can definitely get jiggy with that, with it, you know, with him taking the reins on it, and I wasn't mad at it at all in the film, but that story, it can't be a money grab. It cannot be a money grab. It has to be passion driven. The person who writes it needs to be a Candyman fan. They need to be a Tony Todd fan. I don't know.
If they're a true fan, like a legitimate true fan, I think. Well, if they're a true fan, it couldn't be terrible, but you never know.
No, absolutely. But I just don't want them to even attempt, because I don't want them to try to, you know, oh well, you know, we can kind of do our thing now because you know, because Tony's not here anymore, you know, we can make the movie and not have to worry about somebody, you know, looking over our shoulder saying that's not right. We can do what we want and then do it and fuck it up. And then we have, you know, we don't talk about Bruno's situation here. That's a legacy that you just need to leave alone. You just need to leave it alone. You know, unless the people who made the original films decide to make it. Like I said, that's what happened with Evil Dead. Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell came back and they did it again and remade it.
And it was decent.
It was decent. It was good. The actual fans liked it. They're like, all right, it's not no as good as the original, but it's certainly good because they kept with practical effect. They just mixed in a little CGI. You know, but the fans loved it because the original creators came back and it had the same feel, the same heart, the same soul, the same, you know, or lack thereof soul with that franchise. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would be down with it if the original creators of the first film came back to do a remake of it. And I don't think that's ever going to happen. So please don't attempt to remake or redo Candyman again. No. No. And if you do, you better run that script over 15 million fucking times before you give me some bullshit. Right? Man, listen. Man, nah. This one definitely hits hard. This hits very, very hard because I'm a big horror fan. And we definitely lost a legend yesterday. Hopefully they don't fuck around and giving him his star on Hollywood on Walk of Fame if he doesn't already have one.
Yeah, I agree.
If he doesn't already have one, yeah, absolutely. But no, man, this has been a good show. But before we go, I do want to take a moment of silence before we head on out of here. Until next week. So if you don't mind, let's just take a moment of silence. Tony Todd, you will be missed. You will be loved. You are a legend. You've created an amazing legacy that's going to live on forever within the genre, within the culture. And with that being said, that has been a super breakdown this week. Again, like I said, it was a bittersweet episode, but I definitely enjoyed sitting down talking about these amazing movies that I haven't watched in such a long damn time. I was meaning to go over and watch a lot of these movies during October, but unfortunately I couldn't watch Halloween. Couldn't watch Candyman because my fiance has a phobia of bees, so I can't watch Candyman on my unless I'm like somewhere secluded with headphones in and like completely faced away from her. Yeah, so she has a really bad fear of bees. So I couldn't do it, unfortunately, but I don't know, man. It's an amazing genre. If you're a horror fan, you're elite. You're definitely elite. And Tony Todd was definitely a level 7. The passion, the love, the determination, absolutely amazing. But until next week, tune in next week. Pay attention to our Facebook, our YouTube, our Instagram. We'll be letting y'all know what we're doing next week, who we're breaking down, what we're going over. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun. We are closing in on our 4-year anniversary, 3 years actually. 3-year anniversary. I did the calculations. I believe it will be 3-year anniversary. Our first episode aired December 16th in 2021. So December 21 to 22, 22 to 23, and then 23 to 24. Yes. We will be celebrating our 3-year anniversary, and we're also slowly but surely creeping up on our 100th episode. So stay tuned. We will be doing some awesome, fun things for that. We're probably doing some merch giveaway. We're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be a good time. So we're probably definitely gonna try to throw a little party or something. We're gonna have a good time. So definitely tune in. We love y'all. And remember, if you like what we got going on here, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your mamas, tell your brothers, tell your sisters. We out here for the culture, for the level 7s. But until next week, peace. And remember, book prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Yeah.